Come on inside. Taking that ride to nowhere. We'll take that ride. I'm feeling okay this morning. And you know, we're on the road to paradise. Here we go. Here we go. There's a city in my mind. Come along and take that ride, and it's alright, baby, it's alright. And it's very far away, but it's growing day by day, and it's alright, baby, it's alright. Would you like to come along, and you can help me sing this song, and it's alright, baby, it's alright. There's a city in my mind. Come along and take that ride, and it's alright, baby, it's alright. And it's very far away, but it's growing day by day, and it's alright, baby, it's alright. They could tell you what to do, but they'll make a fool of you, and it's alright, baby, it's alright.
What's up?
Hello! Sorry, you know the deal. I'm sharing this shizzle on the Facebook and the Twitters. Yeah, there we go.
MySpace, the Friendster, gotta let them all know.
Oh, and Tinder.
Tinder, yes.
Just put it on Tinder. Let's see who we got.
Imagine
Do you
if
have
someone
any takers?
Imagine if someone matches with Postmortem Breakdown, then what?
Oh my god, that would be amazing. I guess it's a 2-for-1. I don't know.
Yeah.
They get a Savage and a Bostonian,
There you
and
go.
it's like, a 2-for-1. That's fucking awesome. Oh my god, we should do that.
I'm about it. Yeah. Why not?
Remember when I did? Oh no, that was for me and Pat for our book. I did
Not with you.
What?
Not with you.
Not with you. I forgot. I did when we came out with our book, I did a post on Twitter that was like a poll, and I was like, okay, so should we, like, because we had to like kind of crowdfund, to do our book initially. We did pre-orders, and I was like, Pat, okay, I have this idea. Let's do a poll to see if people want to do like a, what do you call that? When people on Twitter they do a
poll.
No, but it's like they share pictures of themselves like half naked and stuff.
They do nudes. Nudes?
No, like
naked selfies.
No, there's a site.
Porn.
Like a My Page or something. I fucking forget.
Oh, OnlyFans?
Yes.
Okay,
a My
OnlyFans.
Page. Exactly. And I was like, I asked, I was like, should we do this to get the money to, print our first copies? And like 92% said yes. And I was like, Pat, I think we have to do it now. And we did it. But, oh my God, I was trying to be funny. And apparently, I guess people were like, yeah, let's make an ass out of them. But, hey, shit libs make people horny, I guess. I don't know.
Shit lib sexual. I don't know. Yeah.
I should say making fun of shit libs.
True.
Yes.
True.
So what have you been up to, Sir Andrew, since last week?
Whew.
I know you've been busy.
I've been busy. I'm just tired, but it's been good things. I guess I'll share a little bit since I did send out my notice. So I am getting a new job. pending the background check, which, I've got a
You
lot.
didn't put my name on it, did you?
Did not.
Okay, good.
And so, yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm not going to disclose exactly where my new job is, just for obvious reasons.
It's very impressive, though. Like, honestly, I'm so fucking proud of you. And it makes me feel smarter that I do a show with you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You're not too bad yourself.
Thank you. So, yeah, you've been busy. I started a job, so that's been crazy as well. And, we're planning our M for M for All DC March again. So, mark your calendars, July 30th, DC. Last year we did 56. This year we're doing one big O in DC. So mark your calendars. We've got some exciting stuff coming. But yeah, so we've both been pretty busy, but we always make time for Postmortem Breakdown.
Postmortem, but yeah, so
PB, baby,
PB.
So what do we have tonight? Some more things that other people aren't talking about, probably.
Yeah. I mean, so do you want to do your topic first this time? Just because mine are both strikes. Or not strikes.
Yeah, true.
One labor. One is a strike, one is unionization. So
yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So, YouTube will probably take this down, just like they took down my Kurt Cobain video. If you guys haven't seen that, Amira and myself did a Chasing Shadows last Friday, and we broke down the our investigative reporting for the Kurt Cobain suicide. And really, we showed actual documents, and we did like a serious deep dive. And revealed things that people probably may not know. But anyway, and YouTube removed it, of course. So they might remove it for this as well. But subscribe to my rock fan. So, with the whole, I'm just going to say Buffalo incident, because the second you say GUN or SHOOT, anything like that, you're immediately taken off of YouTube. So the Buffalo incident, I'm not going to talk about it per se, but what I want to discuss is something I noticed that I'm sure all of you guys notice is when something happens, something big, and something that people, are upset about, and something that is, it has everyone's attention on the news and things like that. People have Dems, shitlibs, centrists, have a habit, not just online, but in real life, of deflecting, and instead of placing blame on the person who did said thing, saying, well, they were a Trump supporter. They're a Republican. They do this, they do that. When in factuality, these people are grown-ass adults. And yes, certain things do bring things out in people. So saying, yeah, he listens to Tucker Carlson and stuff, I get it. Guy's a piece of shit. And that can bring things out. However, I think to completely obfuscate and say, and be like, well, he's a Trumper. Okay, cool. But he's also a grown-ass man who did what he did by himself. So we need to, recognize that these people need to be taught to think for themselves. How weak are you that you do something you think someone else would want you to do? You're fucking weak. You're weak and impressionable. That's not a good thing. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is we need to make sure that our loathing of Republicans does not supersede the fact that we should be holding people accountable, because that's what people are doing. They're not mad at this guy. They're mad at Trump, Tucker Carlson, Republicans, and stuff. And let's just keep it real. Dude was racist before Trump and Tucker Carlson existed. Okay, people are racist from the get. These people do not create racists, they embolden them. It's a very different thing. By saying, oh, well, they're Trump supporters, you are insinuating that they would be like completely different people if it weren't for them. And that's frankly not true. So we need to, if you're going to say they watched this, they supported this, that's one thing, but don't take away the accountability aspect from the person who actually did the action themselves. What do you think, Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, I think, and I've been seeing a lot of, sort of like you, I've been seeing a lot of different takes on Twitter, some better than others regarding this incident. And I think one of the things that is really, kind of going off of what you said, is that we first need to recognize that we are a nation of vampant white supremacy, right? This has always been a racist country. And particularly all this racism, it's coming out in different ways maybe than it was even just a few years ago, but this is nothing new. This is just par for the course of where we are. And so it's important to have an honest discussion of Tucker Carlson, white replacement theory, right? Those are real things that are gaining more mainstream, that theories that people used to be more afraid to say in public that they're now saying in public, right? And this is a manifestation of that. However, racism, like you said, did not start with Tucker Carlson, right? And let's be honest, we talk about the rotating villain, right? When it comes to Democrats voting no, right? It's a rotating villain in terms of political analysts or entertainers, commentators, whatever the hell you want to call them on cable TV, right? Because Tucker Carlson, he says terrible things, but he's definitely not the only one. Laura Ingraham also says very similar things to him, right? You go down the list. If Tucker Carlson didn't exist, someone else would take his spot, right? And so if you fixate too much on individuals, then that takes away from you attacking the system and really trying to actually, collapse white supremacy, which should be the ultimate goal, right? When that happens, so that these things don't happen again. If you just isolate it and say, well, it was Trump or Republican, that's not going to do anything, right? Because they are just manifests within the system itself. So that's, I think, kind of what I think about that. In a sense, honestly, as disturbing as it is, these things have been happening, right? And so we need to stay alert.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly nothing new. One of the things that's going around on Twitter is the last kid, who looks about 5 with glasses, who did a mass SHOOTING. He was young. He couldn't have been more than 18. He had posts about how much he loved Rachel Maddow. So if we're going to set that precedent and we're going to say people are that impressionable by the people they watch, is it just, there's an exception? Or we have to know, you are a weak ass motherfucker if you are to me, it's like the Susan Sarandon thing. It's like, you all voted for Jill because she told you to. I am not that weak, bitch. I am not that weak. I love her. She is one of my heroes. But I'm not going to listen to her. I'm not going to listen to Bernie. I'm not going to listen to any of them because I'm strong and I'm my own person.
Yeah.
We need to take, we need to call out people who are that fucking weak that they're like, I'm so impressionable because I watched XYZ. Now all of a sudden I'm a racist. No, you weren't. You always were one. Period.
Yeah. Going back to the point you made in terms about empowering, right? Like Tucker Carlson definitely does empower some people,
Sure.
right? And I think, when it comes to Rachel Maddow, and if someone is a Rachel Maddow fan and does a shooting, right? Tucker Carlson, and did you read the whole manifesto that the dude
have
had?
not seen it.
I have not either. So that'll be something that I'll have to make time of to really, I guess, have a more formulated opinion on this. But I guess what people are saying a lot is that Tucker Carlson, because of the white replacement theory, it matched a little bit of what Tucker Carlson was saying. So I guess you could make an argument that in itself has a little bit more of a direct correlation, but that's all the extent I can say, because, again, I would need to look deeper into it to really have a firm position.
You know that in the manifesto he referenced, and my mind is not working tonight, something with a Y, and it's that group of Nazis in Ukraine that we keep talking about, that people would like to ignore and pretend does not exist.
Yeah.
And the fact that this manifesto was written, he did what he did, and he acknowledged the people that we are sending billions of dollars of weaponry to. That's concerning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Which then plays into the fact that America is sending weapons to Nazis. And again, it's in our system. We are America, the United States. I don't even want to say America, because there's two Americas, North and South America, but the United States is perpetuating it in that way. So
absolutely. Yeah. My favorite Ukraine thing I've seen to date is it's a yellow and blue circle, and it says blonde hair, blue eyes, and I'm like, yep, that's it. We started bombing Somalia.
We did
today.
And Trump had taken
brown. Who gives a shit?
Trump had taken U.S. troops out of Somalia.
Ain't that the shit?
And now Biden's bringing some back in. So that's great. Lesser of two evils, right? But that's the thing. That's the thing that, Biden, well, first of all, I'm sure there's some interests that it's protecting over there in Somalia, right? That's how it always works.
Always.
But, Biden's trying to do something about his low approval numbers. And so.
And unfortunately, we know bombing brown people, that bombing the enemy makes you strong. That makes you likable. Yeah. I mean, look at Obama. He has like the fucking highest approval rating like in our lifetime. And he dropped more bombs than any other president in history. Because he was handsome and he spoke nicely.
Yeah, I can't believe in my lifetime. I mean, yeah, he I think has the highest approval rating. So, yeah.
Bananas.
But, if you ask any of the mainstream media, his biggest scandal was the tan suit, not the fact that he had dropped the most bombs out of any president. So.
Yep. Or said to the people of Standing Rock, we'll see how it plays out. That was awesome. Or pretended to drink water to the people of Flint. I mean, those are all like the thing that I see people say all the time is, well, he didn't even sexually assault anyone. Like, that's the low bar we're going with. That you shouldn't do that. You don't get credit for not doing that. Like, why would you get credit? you never raped a person, you get credit. And plus, not accusing, but just because someone hasn't come forward doesn't mean nothing has happened. I'm not saying it did, but I mean, to be like, he never did this. Well, he's never been accused of anything, granted, but you shouldn't get credit for that.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing was, like, when you are Obama and the person who becomes president after you is Trump, you are automatically going to be the best, most awesome thing in the entire world, because the person who came after you is the most hated man alive. So automatically, with the most hated man alive, that goes with, we should have had another term of Obama. He's the best thing that ever happened to us. That Obama nostalgia.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do we have any comments?
Jenna says, sips a glass of water in Flint, Michigan. So going a little bit back, when I talked about getting a new job, a couple people thought I said dog. So they were like upset that I wasn't showing them a dog that I don't have.
Joy's so proud of you for getting a dog.
You're growing up. You're never, you're learning how to raise a dog. Jenna says, this has never been dealt with, but people want to play like we are some star-spangled bullshit good guys in the world. Yep. So thanks, Trish, for congratulating me on the new job. Once we squared that away, I had to type in, I was like, it's a job, not a dog. So people wouldn't be like, dog.
I'm so proud of you.
So.
How much does your dog pay?
Usually it's the other way around, right? You got to pay a lot.
That's for sure. Duchess is a queen. Do you have anything else you want to add on that?
Not too much. Should we go?
Let's play.
Status quo.
Let's play the video next. That Jordan sent me.
Yeah. All right.
Jordan Sheridan sends me videos pretty much every day, and this one, this one was like, what? It's kind of amazing, scary, sad.
These people don't know even what they're fighting for, so they're just shouting for no reason, basically. I mean, nobody's banning anything. Like, it's up to the states. It should be. If you want to, then do it. If you don't, then don't. There's going to be abortion sanctuaries all across the country. So if somebody wants to do it, then go do it.
And that sentiment is real. Like there are going to be plenty of states where it will be legal. The tricky situation, though, is that it's going to affect low-income women who can't travel to those places, and rich women will be able to do whatever they want to because they can travel.
That's not true.
How would a low-income woman in Austin travel to a state where abortion is legal if she needed
I'm sure there's grants for that.
Maybe.
I don't know.
We've got a backlog of kids in the foster care system right now. What's the solution there?
Don't open your legs. There's other forms of contraception other than abortion. Abortion should not be your number one choice for contraception.
Right. All right.
There's condoms. There's things for women. There's abstinence.
Yep.
There's anal.
Yep.
I mean,
Okay, I'm sorry. I am sorry. I fucking lost it. I lost it. And he is offensive. He is disgusting. He is uneducated. But, okay. Republicans as a whole are incredibly homophobic and have said so many things about, ew, anal sex. And then he's like, you could do anal sex. And I just fucking lost it because like I'm sorry, there's like 1, 2, or 3 things happening right there. Number one, he is a hypocrite and he's had sex plenty of times and it doesn't matter because he's a hypocrite. Number two, he never gets laid. So he takes this stance because he's like, well, I'm not going to be in that position. And number 3, a combination of both, which I think it's probably 2.
Yeah, I think that's correct. I mean, I think the sad thing is that, like, yeah, what this person is saying is stupid, but like, let's be realistic. Like, there are literally politicians on the state and federal level that will say the exact same thing.
Totally.
Like, so sadly, this person's IQ is probably average.
He's like, I'm sure there's grants for that.
Like, yeah, what grants? What grants are we talking about?
Grants to have someone take you to another state to have an abortion. Interesting. Not a bad idea, I guess.
Is he trying to do like a mutual aid plug? Like, maybe he's like accidentally being like, hey, let's pulls together some resources.
Yeah, like inadvertently he just planted a seed, no pun intended, in like legislators' ear to like, ooh, grants, yes. But and the thing about abortion that is one of the many things that's frustrating is there's so many memes and there's so many things people say as far as Republicans want you to bring it to term and then they don't care about what happens to it after it's here. Mm-hmm. Dems are the same way. They may not say it, but they're the same way. We have over 50 million people uninsured right now. We have more homeless people than ever in our nation's history. We have joblessness. We have millions of people going hungry. We have millions of dollars in school lunch debt. Shouldn't even exist. And you guys are telling the Republicans they should care about the kids once they're here. You don't. It's that deflection. It's, just like the DCCC, the bastard child of DNC. They sent out those letters that said, I mean, have you seen the other guys? That's what they do. They deflect.
Yeah. Yeah. So hard to really have a conversation there when reality is just so different from the reality you're living in, which is why it's easier to, I guess, just bring in people who are apolitical and then, then try and convert somebody who's just so propagandized and so far gone. And, so I think what's it called? The Kroger effect or whatever, where there's something Kroger effect where if you come from like a privileged status, you automatically think that you just are much more qualified to speak on something, or so that's Donnie Crow. I don't know, whatever. That's that dude that we just saw.
Yeah. Like millions of years in evolution, and that's what we get. Yay.
Yeah.
What do you have for us, Andrew? Wait, you had the non-white guy go first? What the fuck is happening?
The what?
The non-white guy. Like, you always go first.
Oh. Yeah. Well, this time we did it differently. So, all right. So, Trader Joe's. This is very interesting. So I'm going to show a video on Trader Joe's because they are trying to unionize a Trader Joe's in Massachusetts. Be the very first one that's unionized. And I was surprised to see just how awful the conditions are at Trader Joe's, which, from my knowledge, I've always thought Trader Joe's probably had semi-decent working conditions, right? They present themselves that way, and they used to. But I think when I watched this video, there were a lot of things that I didn't realize or think of that I was like, oh, wow, that is very true, actually. And so I think it's always good to kind of listen to what others have to say, because it's just good. to know where others are going from. So let me put this video up, adding to stream, and let's watch.
The customers right now really have this idea that Trader Joe's is this amazing place to work, and they take such good care of us because that used to be true. I think everything we're asking for is what Trader Joe's is pretending to give us.
These Massachusetts workers are unionizing to change that. We're bad.
After we came back from our leave, because we took a leave during the pandemic, it just felt like such a different place. You know, it felt like they weren't even pretending to care anymore.
I have never seen a group of people's engagement level drop so far so fast with the changes that Trader Joe's has made. Trader Joe's used to be like a dynamic, exciting place to work for people at every single level. All of the changes that are made have been so they can save money and we take home less.
Same year as Trader Joe's slash benefits for workers. Its revenue was
There's a lot of people who
$16.5
shop
million.
at Trader Joe's because they feel like they're supporting a company that supports us. And I think that they would be upset if they knew that that was no longer true. I think that most of our customers would be horrified to know that Woody lost his insurance because he got cancer.
Survived cancer in 2019, and part of that journey was having to fight for my health care from the company. I know that they didn't want to see me dead, from cancer, but they also didn't want to pay any more than they had to. And as soon as they were able to remove me from the health insurance, they did.
Despite the company's family-friendly image, healthcare and retirement benefits are out of reach for many Trader Joe's workers.
Trader Joe's used to be a place where you could work part-time and have health coverage. I mean, you talk about it being a leader in the industry. I mean, that was remarkable, and it made people want to work there. And then when the Affordable Care Act passed, Trader Joe's used it as an excuse to peel back this layer of benefits that were available for crew members. Since then, it's become harder and harder to accrue hours to qualify for health insurance. I don't qualify. I'm on Mass Health. I've worked for Trader Joe's for 20 years, but because I don't work 5 days a week, I can't get health insurance through them.
We don't have any guaranteed retirement any longer. That changed very quietly last summer. The policy used to be that we got 10% of our pay was given to us as a retirement contribution. And now there's no guarantee.
You have to work 700 hours in a calendar year in order to accrue retirement benefits from the company. The other caveat to that is that you have to do so for 10 consecutive years. So basically what the company has told us is if you have cancer, you can't earn full retirement for 10 years. If you have a baby, you can't earn full retirement for 10 years. If you have to work part-time to take care of your dying mother, if your child has a mental illness issue. I mean, there's any number of life events that could come up.
Safety is also a major issue at the store.
I do currently have a doctor's note on file that I can't work more than 24 hours a week. And part of the reason is because of the work I have done for Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's has historically made decisions for crew member safety that favor the customer over the crew's safety. One of the examples is our registers. We have no conveyor belts. A customer pushes their cart up, and then we take every single item out of the cart one at a time, doing this motion with your body thousands of times every day. Trader Joe's notoriously has small stores. It's part of our charm. We're also very busy, which means we restock the shelves continually throughout the day. We can't take that heavy 30-pound box of celery and have something to put it on while we stock it. Often we have to set it on the floor, which means we're picking up things off the floor all the time throughout the day or holding it with one arm.
The wear and tear on our bodies just completely wrecks us. So my back just gave out. I cannot work full-time anymore. I can only work part-time physically. Like there's so many easy things that the company could fix and chooses not to.
Trader Joe's has tried to squash pro-union sentiment at its stores throughout the pandemic. In 2020, workers received an unusual letter from Trader Joe's CEO Dan
It was
Bain.
very clearly a preventative union busting letter. you know, he talks about unions were trying to drive a wedge between us and the company. Like that wedge already is there. Like that wedge has always been there in the space between like what we, the crew, need to live our lives and what the company's interests are. Those things are not the same. Oh, he shared a little bit about union contracts with us. He's like, you should check out this website if you want to learn what a union contract is. So I did a little digging, and it turned out that that website was made 5 days before he wrote the letter. It had like 6 links on it. It was clearly something made by Trader Joe's to cherry pick some disappointing contracts, things that they thought we wouldn't like to see. And one of the weirdest things that he said was if after the pandemic was over, 30% of the crew at any store wanted to have a union vote, that we would have a vote. And that he was pledging to us that he would allow us to have this vote. I feel like that misled a lot of people, a lot of crew members who didn't realize that that's the law, that it's not up to Dan if we vote, it's up to us if we vote. And overwhelmingly, our crew has decided that they want to have a union vote and that they want to have a union.
If they win, these workers will form the first Trader Joe's union in the
We are
country.
doing this out of not a hatred of Trader Joe's, an absolute love of our jobs. I want to be able to work for Trader Joe's for the next 20 years.
Wow, I love Trader Joe's. I'm a helper. That's what I like to do. If it's finding, the right kind of peas for a customer, or making sure that my coworker is seen and heard on a day they're struggling, I just like to improve people's lives. I think a union is just another step in that direction towards a more just and equitable and enjoyable workplace.
I feel like a company that I love so much has strayed so far from their core values, and they are bleeding veteran crew members. I would like to help bring us back.
That is so heartbreaking. It said Sarah, I believe was her name. They've worked there for 20 years.
Yeah. And what nice people too. Like
I know.
Like
so
that
nice.
that one guy was just like, I love to just help people, just find the peas. Like that's just what I mean. Like, damn, these people are so passionate about their jobs, even after getting their bodies wrecked from the lack of
losing insurance when you have cancer.
I mean, if I were them, I would have just been like, fuck this. I'm not doing like they still
I know. I'd be
joy
like,
of
fuck
what
you. They are genuinely wonderful people. I'm gonna try to see if I can reach out to them, because that's inspiring and that's amazing. I cannot help. I don't know if it's the pessimist, the realist. I'm not sure who it is inside me, but I cannot help but worry that they had retribution for this video. It scares me.
Mm-hmm.
I can't not wonder. It concerns me.
Yeah. So I don't think the video made this clear, but just so people know, this is in Hadley, Massachusetts. So if anybody is around Hadley, right, doesn't hurt to come in, give some of these workers some of your support. Yeah. I think to me, I mean, this just shows how you really just don't think about some of the struggles that people have to deal with on a day-to-day basis when you're just a customer coming in and out getting food, right? Like, it never occurred to me, like, I might notice that there's no conveyor belt there, right? But I don't add that extra number to it to be like, wait, that means that they have to actually constantly grab things, some things that are heavy all throughout the day. And then, yeah, small store equals that you have to restock things more often. Like, you just don't think about all these different spatial things that could make things difficult for a worker and actually cause long-term health effects to people. And it's just incredible that, that one woman who was saying that she, can't work. The doctor says she can only work at most 24 hours a day because of literally what Trader Joe's did to her.
A week. Yeah.
Yeah, a week. Yeah, a day. Ooh, yeah.
She can only work the entire day.
You can't work more than 24 hours a day because there's no more time left.
8 days a week. But you know what? But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I cannot even why the fuck wouldn't you have conveyor belt? I've never heard of such a thing. We just got our first Trader Joe's, last month, and I've never been to one in my life. I really don't care, but and now I certainly don't care. But there was a line like a mile long since 3 a.m. on opening day, and I'm like, isn't this just a fucking grocery store? I was so confused. But I wish this came out before that, because I would have brought my laptop and been like, can I just have all you guys watch this and give me your feedback?
Yeah.
Crazy. Did this video just come out this week?
Yeah, I think it came out yesterday.
Wow.
So, yeah. And that is something, I mean, I have noticed that a lot of stores that pride themselves on more healthy food, right? More healthy, more expensive food, usually, they don't always have conveyor belts. And I don't really know why that is.
It's for convenience for the customers. Like, you don't have to do the peasant work. They'll lift stuff up and scan it for you. You already had the tough job of picking things off the shelf and putting it in your basket.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that.
It's just catering to them.
Yeah, and like one of the people said, they care more about the customer experience than the health of their workers. And that one dude that said, they don't want to see me die. Like I felt like he was being a little too charitable to them. Like, if they're not willing to pay your health care, they do not care about your life.
They may not want to see you die, because then they lose an awesome employee. But that doesn't mean they care. Remember, I digress, but remember in Sicko, Michael Moore's documentary, that they exposed that Walmart was taking out life insurance on their associates who had cancer so that they would make millions when their employees would die. I didn't even know such a thing is legal, or but that's what corporations do.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
The more you know.
I know. I wish I could turn my brain off.
So, I realize the next topic, I'm being a little biased of things happening in Massachusetts. I'm sorry. I can't.
Yeah, that was from Mass. And now this is from Mass. You asshole. What the fuck?
Sorry, I'm just a typical New Englander that just thinks the whole world revolves around where they live, but so one thing I wanted to show real quick is, so Brookline, as you all know, Brookline is actually, it's a city that's it's not even right next to Boston. It's like surrounded by Boston. And, there's a lot of political reasons why it just can't be Boston. But anyway, putting that aside, Brookline teachers are going on strike. And so I wanted to just highlight these Brookline teachers, and then I'm just going to show you their GoFundMe for, their strike fund as well. Just in case anybody wants to throw, no pressure. I know times are tough, but here it is. Hundreds of teachers in Brookline are on strike Monday after the teachers union and school committee were unsuccessful in reaching agreement on a new contract. Union leaders say they are fighting for higher pay, guaranteed prep time during the school day, and reforms to attract and retain educators of color. And then Brookline Educators Union President Jessica Wender said the union and school leadership remain far apart on key issues after multiple rounds of negotiations over the weekend. Brookline Superintendent Linus I'm going to botch this up. Giori sent a letter out to parents Sunday night informing them schools would be closed because of the strike. There will simply not be the staffing capacity to operate all schools safely. Dozens of teachers dressed in red and holding signs picketing outside their schools Monday in a public show of solidarity. And so, one person says the guidance counselor is a big disruption, not only to our schedule, but the kids. We hope it gets resolved, and this is only a one-day thing. The school committee points out that strikes by public employees are illegal in Massachusetts. That's actually something I didn't know. So they're doing this even though this is technically illegal.
Wow.
Yeah. Teacher strikes.
I wonder how many states have that.
I know. I'm wondering.
I had no idea.
Now I'm curious to see where that lines up, because I know a couple years ago West Virginia was having a lot of teacher strikes, and now I'm thinking
Chicago, all over.
Yeah, so I'm wondering now what the legalities were on that. But yeah, as they say in Massachusetts, teacher strikes are relatively rare in Massachusetts. Brookline is the first since teachers in Dedham picketed in 2019. And I just want to bring, like I said, I want to bring you all over to where this fundraiser is, just in case any of you want to support these teachers. So here it is right here, where they give it over, and hold on. Nope. Oh, I gave the wrong one. Sorry. Hold up.
You can put the link in the comments.
I'll just put the link in the comments. Yeah. So yeah,
it goes to help with their salary while they're protesting and not working.
While they're protesting and apparently illegally protesting.
Might go to bail funds, unfortunately.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So here it is. Yeah. As they over here, you can click to donate. I'm going to put the link in the comments as well. Let's see. I'm curious to see where they are too in terms of how much money they have raised. So this is from one day ago. They've raised $2,965. The goal is 10,000. But hey, this is from yesterday, and they've already done 2,965. So that's a good pace, and it sounds like they're getting some support from the community. This is interesting. Refuses to guarantee a teacher 40 minutes of duty-free time each workday. And I think, they were saying it's not in the best interest of the students for the teachers to be out, right? That's always the number one thing they use to try and make it suddenly about the students, right? Their schools are notoriously in this country underfunded, right? Particularly if you're in a low-income community, they're very much underfunded. But even, let's face it, unless you're in a really rich district, your schools are mostly, they don't have a ton of funding, and a lot of the people that talk about that don't talk about that piece. But suddenly, when teachers are overworked, underpaid, which again is not in the best interest of the student, because nobody learns well when teachers are burnt out, right? That's never talked about in the best interest of the student, right? So I think them striking is in the best interest of the students so that they can get the funds that they need in order for their career to be sustainable, so that they can be present for their students, right? And so, yeah, Joy, what do you have to say to that?
No, I mean, I agree. And I think it's super ballsy to do it in May because the school year is still in session. I think that it's so-called easier to do it in June because they wouldn't be risking that arrest and things like that. But I think, this is the time when I think the only other most advantageous time would be September.
Yes, right when the school year is starting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's interesting. This is an time too, because, and I know that schools go at different times depending on what region you are in the country. So school year ends typically like in mid to late June in Massachusetts, just, and so like this is a time where, yes, it's getting close to the end of the year, but this is also a time where, like, let's think about remember when we were kids, right? Where these state tests are coming up, right? So teachers are scrambling to get students prepared to take these tests, right? A lot of them are bullshit, but that's a whole other topic. But yeah, May is usually a stressful time in schools, for that matter. So that adds to that kind of idea of that. So yeah.
For sure. Well, solidarity with Trader Joe's and with Brookline, that's fucking awesome.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, like I've said, I think I've said this before, but instead of donating your money to politicians, if you donate it to a strike fund, that's a lot more impactful. The impact that you can do with your money. So
we, the people, need the money way more than campaigns who say they're going to help you out and don't, or lose anyway. So
yeah.
And like, let's be real, the less we donate to campaigns, the more they're going to fight for public funding. So, which we should have anyway.
Yes, we should. So, yeah.
So what you got going on coming up, boo?
Yeah, so catch me on Sundays on the People's Voice, talking about with Overlooked News with Z, where we talk about news that a lot of people aren't talking about. And you can catch me on.
Doing any repeats?
No, not doing any repeats. May or may not have done that once. We'll see. No, I'm just kidding.
Andrew! Our show is special.
So yeah, I got that. And what else? Yeah, catch me on panels and such. And yeah, that's mostly what's going on with me right now. What about with you?
Well, we're going to be doing quite a number of things to try to raise money for March for Medicare for All. We haven't started fundraising yet. We're going to be really starting that this month. We did a little at our forum last month and used it all to try and pay back people from what we spent last year. So we are starting from scratch and we still owe some people from last year. I just got reimbursed for my sound system rental like a month ago. So it's hard. We are 100% volunteer. 100%. None of us makes a dime. So what happens is when we do events, someone's got to put down the money. Someone has to rent the porta pots. Someone has to get the sound system. So we are in desperate need of donations. M for like the number 4, M4all.org. And like today we found out that the porta pot rental alone is going to be $7,500. Just the porta pots. That's it. So I hope a lot of people are going to be using them because if not, that is a lot of fucking money. Those things better be full the whole damn day.
Supply a lot of water. It'll be a hot day, but also,
they better be used because you know what? Last time when we did DC last year, we got 6 of them and they cost almost $2,000. And you know what? Only one of them was used like 2 times. Jeez. But because of the size of the park we're using this time, they're like, you need a porta pot for every X amount of people. So you have to. It's in their contract, the POPO. So $7,500 just for shitters. Yeah.
Well,
we need your help. Bad. So we're going to be doing some things coming up. We are going to be doing some fun game type things, some raffling type things, some merch type things. So I'll be talking more about that. Other than that, I will be probably going live 1 or 2 times during the rest of the week, but Saturday is my birthday, so I will be spending that day with my husband.
Awesome. Well, speaking of porta pots, I do need to take a little bio break. So I think it's a little good time.
Oh my God, Andrew! I hope you mean pee, Jesus.
Yes. It's pee. It's pee.
God, what are you doing to our audience? They're gonna stop watching, or they're gonna start watching more. I don't know. Okay, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Much love.
Bye.
Bye.